Alright guys, welcome to my first Raw Talk. This is probably like the 10th time I've tried to record this video, and I'm done with it. We're just going, and whatever happens this take. I'm not doing any cuts. So this is gonna be a Raw Talk on a specific topic. And with these Raw Talks, I just want to kind of talk about personal things I'm going through. And I know some people are going to relate, and I'm going to try to overcome them myself and teach others to do the same. And I hope just, I can get some engagement in the comment section to where people, maybe if they relate, they'll kind of give advice even to me or just other people that are going through the same thing. So if you ever kind of have some kind of way you overcame certain obstacles I'm going through or other people in the comment section are going through, definitely drop that in the comment section. It'd be of value to myself and others. But anyway, one of my biggest problems in life has been procrastination. I know this is a very common thing, but especially people with ADHD and just perfectionism. Perfectionism is probably a big thing with people with ADHD. Waiting for like the perfect moment when I don't even know what that perfect moment looks like. It's like having all the knowledge I need, saying all the right things when it comes to recording content. I always want to say the right things and sound sophisticated and say everything perfect when that's never gonna be the case. Like, I am human. I am far from perfect. I have a lot of gaps in my knowledge that need to be filled just over time. And I can't let that stop me from creating content because I'm never gonna get anywhere. And I'm gonna take way too long to create content. And it's just not efficient. It's not efficient or realistic to try to be perfect because none of us are. They always say comparison is the thief of joy. So as a new content creator, if I'm going to be looking at other content creators and look at how efficient and just like well done all their videos are and compare myself to them, I'm just going to be beating myself up and never kind of get anywhere. As long as I'm improving over time, that's the most important thing. And eventually I'm going to get to their level. I may not be there right now, but it's about direction rather than speed or where you currently are, So that's kind of what I'm going to get into. So there's a lot of work that I've been avoiding doing. Doing this video alone, I've put off for so long. And I should have done this a month ago. And I'm finally just getting to it. And there's also a fitness 101, like a lifting 101 video I want to do, just to kind of guide people, give people some free information on how to kind of approach their own training to make it kind of systematic and methodical to where they can kind of achieve just about any goal they want. It's going to be a very simple breakdown. So it's not going to get into anything advanced, but especially anybody just beginning in the gym, just going to kind of guide them to be able to just kind of start taking action, rather than overthinking it. People like to overcomplicate things when it's actually very simple. Maybe later down the road as you become more advanced, it's going to get a little bit more complicated and you're going to have to take a little bit more of a scientific approach or just like proven methods, which you can easily find online anyway, right? But some people like to have the guidance of a coach, which is where people like me come in. And I know not everyone can afford a coach, so, obviously I want to give out free information, what I would kind of do as a beginner to kind of start my journey. So that's kind of what this channel is going to be about. And on top of that, I want to provide a lot of videos regarding rehab, in particular healing the back. I've had every injury you can think of, from the shoulder, knee, elbows, borderline tore my pec off the bone. I've done all the stupid things from ego lifting, and I've overcome basically everything. So I want to teach people to kind of take their life back because I know how debilitating, especially things like a back injury can be, where your quality of life is just 10%, literally 10% of what it could be. What it does to you psychologically is crazy. And you can't even enjoy life on a day-to-day basis. It ruins your sleep. It makes you a more irritable person, etc. The list goes on, but that's not what this video is about. But that is why I want to make rehab videos, because I want people to have hope again, to take their life back and just live. Maybe they'll never get pain-free. I don't know. It depends on how they apply what I teach and what their specific injury is. But I've heard countless people like me living my story. I've seen online people that follow the methods I'm going to be teaching, because I see another guy doing the same thing. He's teaching back rehab techniques that physical therapists are not pushing or advocating for. And all these people had the same stories, going to physical therapists, blah, blah, blah. Nothing ever helped them. Like decades of back pain. And now they're like either fully healed or they're living a much higher quality of life on the way toward being completely 100% recovered from this injury. So I want to give people hope, because I was at a point where I lost hope, where I felt like I may never live a normal life again. Just sitting in this chair or going to wash my hands at the sink, I used to never be able to even hardly do that because my back would just seize up and want to spasm. I couldn't take full breaths without my back spasming. I couldn't take the slightest micro turn in bed without my back spasming. I wouldn't want to go to the bathroom just because my back would spasm and it would take me like 30 minutes to get out of bed. And that's not even an exaggeration. So that's why I am so passionate about wanting to put out these rehab videos. I just am watching more. Okay, so the guy I'm referring to, if you want to look him up, his YouTube is Low Back Ability. And I'm just researching more information on this stuff and trying to kind of write down on paper everything I personally did, because I didn't do exactly everything he did to fully recover, but I applied some of his principles and I agree with everything he says. So I'm studying up on his videos and doing my own background research, so when I make these videos I can make it more systematic so people can really, start applying this into their own rehab process for their back. Aside from that, obviously fitness content I'm doing. Motivational videos, I want to kind of do that, kind of show my side of just overcoming just normal shit normal people are going through, like procrastination, that perfectionism that holds you back, that imposter syndrome where you don't feel like you're that person yet. Like me trying to be a content creator, a fitness coach, like even though everyone's always came to me and told me I should make fitness content or I should coach people, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who am I? It's just kind of the imposter syndrome when everyone's telling you you're capable of doing this, but you're the only one that doesn't believe in yourself. So this is me kind of overcoming all of that, just pushing out this content, trying to make an impact, live with a purpose greater than myself in this world, because I don't want to go through this life making everything about me, because that's not what this life is about, because it's going to be a very empty life if you live that way. So yeah, doing videos like that, travel vlogging, or just vlogging in general. It could be local or travel vlogging. My mom's side's from the Philippines, so I'm going to be putting up a lot of vlogs from there. My family and I went to Greece, so I'm going to be posting that. I might be going to Vietnam next year at some point too, so I'm going to try to bring you guys some interesting vlogs on top of all this. Just life, just entertainment, motivation, fitness, all the above. Anyway, so I did write something for this Raw Talk. Before I go on a complete random tangent like I already am, this is just regarding the procrastination. It's like, do you ever feel like you know exactly what you're supposed to do, but something's just stopping you from doing it? Like I said, that's probably just that procrastination and those bad habits you're kind of giving into. So that work you're avoiding, I'm sure many of you have heard, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. I wrote to myself here, my chronic procrastination is the reason I'm not where I want to be in life. It's a strange thing. I know what I must do, and if I just did everything I know I was supposed to, I would already be massively successful. And the even stranger thing is often when I go to do that thing I've been avoiding, it was nowhere as difficult or painful as I made it out to be. The Seneca quote where he says, "We suffer more often in imagination than reality," is so true. Things are rarely as scary or as difficult as we make them out to be in our heads. And yeah, we just suffer more in our heads, and something's stopping us from taking action. And to be honest, I wish I kind of knew the answer, and it might just be complete, pure, utter laziness. You know what I mean? On top of the perfectionism. Like, humans just tend to avoid pain, and it's a strange thing. I always compare the conscious mind to the iceberg analogy, where, your conscious mind is just the tip of the iceberg. It's like that. It's like this driver who thinks he's driving this vehicle, but he's just like the conscious mind realizing everything that's happening. I don't even know how to explain this. Your conscious is basically, essentially almost like your willpower trying to steer this fucking thing. But your subconscious is this massive thing that's below the surface that is your identity and all the habits you've reinforced your entire life. And here's this little 10% tip of the iceberg that's trying to like steer this thing and force it in a direction. And it takes time. It takes time to eventually develop that new identity to where you're actually working toward becoming that 2.0 version of yourself. Because that old identity, which is that subconscious, that below the surface portion of the iceberg, is always going to try to stop you from changing because it doesn't want to die. Like that old identity doesn't want to die. It wants to remain, and it's something I wish I could speak on overcoming because I haven't overcome it yet. I haven't overcome it. So it's like I'm making this video wanting to teach others to overcome it when the truth is I haven't overcome that yet. Like I still have bad habits and vices. I still chronically procrastinate. But I'm making this video because I want to overcome those things and I want us all to start taking the steps to where we become that version of ourselves that we always knew we could be. And I know it's fucking pathetic to be making this video, at like fucking 28, bro? Pretty pathetic. I feel like I should have my shit together, but at the end of the day, who really does? You know? You'll see those billionaires, you know, those like people that are making hundreds of millions of dollars are billionaires, right? Borderline take their life because they lost their self. Like they didn't, like people would think those people on paper have it figured out, but they don't. You know, they may have it figured out in one area, but they don't have it across the board. And if you don't have it across the board, I feel like you really get lost. There's always this empty part of you that needs to be filled, like something that you've been kind of avoiding taking care of. And that's, like I said, the work that you're avoiding. That could be like that inner work. This doesn't have to be outer work like the physical or financial. This is inner work, inner healing. And if you haven't done any of that, you know, you're not building off of a strong foundation. So I just want to make this video because I've been putting this off for months. So I'm taking my imperfect action now, my first step. And this is just kind of my mission statement that this is the direction this channel is going and who I like, what I want to do with it to impact the lives of others. So obviously my goal is to basically be an online fitness coach, entertainer, all the above. I want to be like a jack of all trades with this channel. I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be stuck to one thing. I don't want to be kept inside some box. I want to be me. I want to be me and just like I said, entertain, motivate, inspire others and give others hope on their journey. So I guess I don't really have much else to say, but basically if you guys are watching this and made it all the way through, comment if you have any kind of life story you want to kind of share. I mean, I'm a small creator. It is kind of cool interacting with everybody. And I just, you know, I want this to hold me accountable to start posting regardless of how high quality the content is, just to put it out. Because there's no way you're ever going to get your goal if you don't take action. So I'm just going to leave you guys with that. I will see you in the next video.